welcome to another exciting edition of Million Dollar Peddlers. I'm Paper Guy.
And I'm Mr. Magazine.
Today we're going to talk about a deal that ends up I'm not going to do. We had talked about it on a different video, and you actually talked to me after the show. I was kind of hoping you were going to take the bait, and we were going to be we were going to be partners on a big deal, but just isn't going to end up being. Basically, for anybody who didn't see the other video, there was an opportunity to purchase 1 million postcards for $40,000 delivered. Pretty good deal. Overall, pretty good deal. You're paying 4 cents a postcard. And we talked afterwards about, you said, well, what if they're all the same? And I said, well, as long as it's something that's still in existence, say there's 1 million Statue of Liberty postcards. I know I'm going to every little bodega in New York City, knocking on the door going, you sell postcards, right? Give me 20 cents each. You can get $1.50 each out of these things. So there's always a way to make money, definitely on a volume like that. One quick thing, you know Mrs. Papergoy.
Yes, I do.
So I ordered my packing supplies from eBay. And I also was mentioning to her about the postcard deal, the potential postcard deal. And she was a little hesitant. Primary reason being storage. Where are we going to put 1 million postcards at? Which probably has some level of merit. That being said, we'll find out. So we'll figure storage out if I were to end up doing the deal, and that's kind of what I told her. Well, I ordered the padded envelopes from eBay, and I don't know if you've ordered those or not, but they come in, I ordered 400, and they come in boxes of 100, and they put the 4 together inside of a box. So I got this box that was gigantic. I mean, it had to be 4.5, 5 feet long by, whatever 2 boxes widths are, 3 feet wide by another 4 feet high. Gigantic box. And so they went and they delivered that. And my wife saw it coming up to the door, and she said, what's that? And I said, oh, it's here. And she goes, what? I said, oh, the first box of 5,000 postcards. We only have 199 more boxes like that coming.
Oh, she must have loved that.
She used to have a really good sense of humor about things, and she used to laugh a lot. That look she gave me wasn't one of laughter.
We both know you don't have 1 million friends to mail those out to.
That's very true. So when you get 1 million postcards in the mail individually, you'll know why. Yeah. So let's break down that deal a little bit. You pointed out one thing that I think really sums up why I can't do the deal. And that's, the time involved. Friend of the channel, Auction Professor, talks how he's got one of his people listing. And he lists a lot of postcards. And obviously you've got, and we have a video about it as well, about some of the scanners that we have. But you have a fast scanner, I believe, you put stuff in.
Yeah. And I don't know how it would work with the stiffer postcards, but it'll do photos. Mm-hmm. I don't know how thick they are. So if some postcards are thicker stock, you don't want them getting jammed or creased. So I'm not sure. We'd have to test it out. But you can do like 50 sheets of paper. You could do 30 photos. It all depends on the thickness.
So you probably do 10, 15 standard postcards at a time. You just shoot them through, turn them around, shoot them through the other way, and then it saves to a file somewhere.
Yeah.
So that part of it would be fairly easy. One thing that I don't know that we talked about as well is, are they sorted? Because obviously if they're sorted by state or something like that, do you know how long it would take to sort 1 million postcards?
A lifetime. That we don't have.
A while. Yeah. I think it's a couple of hours anyway. Yeah. I sort really, really fast. But he's got somebody, he says, can list postcards, 40 of them in an hour. I started running the numbers on it. An 8-hour day is 320. We'll round that down to 300 just to make it really easy. 7 days a week, 2,100. We'll round that down to 2,000. So 2,000 postcards a week can get listed.
Yeah.
52 weeks. Say 50 because you might take a vacation or this or that. That's 100,000 postcards in a year.
Yeah.
That's a 10-year job for one person to list. And you pointed out something called opportunity costs. And that's what we ended up talking about, probably most about the deal. That's how many ever hours that is that I cannot put toward other things.
Right. Yeah.
I've got a garage full of other things that I cannot list because I'm doing that. What what's my eBay ID?
Paper guy?
Papergoy. What do I sell?
Paper.
Exactly. I sell brochures. I sell magazines. I sell books.
Artwork.
Artwork. I do sell artwork. I do sell a little bit of postcards, but it's not my main thing. If for the next 10 years, which I want you to say that out loud, if for the next 10 years,
Yeah.
I am listing solely postcards or 95% postcards because it does not leave a lot of time for other things.
Right.
If I am listing solely postcards, for a while, I'm going to get a big dip in sales because the people that come to me currently for paper probably, for the most part, aren't interested in postcards.
Right.
The people that are interested in postcards, they go to Popeye's Postcards, they go to Auction Professor, they go to the big postcard dealers. They don't know me for postcards.
Right.
There's also a gigantic learning curve. I mean, I know a little bit about postcards, but I don't know what to price things at properly. Whereas if you give me a brochure or a piece of paper, I've been doing this long enough that I can usually look at it and say, and one of the nice things about a lot of the brochures and that kind of things is a lot of them are one of a kind.
Yeah.
So if I think it's worth $25, it's worth $25. A postcard, there might be 100 of it, or there might be none of them out there. So I have to research each and every one of them. So you were saying beforehand that even though it's potentially a multi-million-dollar deal, it may not be a good deal, given my situation.
Correct.
And I think that's something that everybody out there has to remember. The big deals are wonderful. They're a lot of fun. But definitely know yourself and know if you're biting off more than you can handle. And it isn't even the price. I know you had mentioned to me maybe negotiate the price. Because $40,000 was kind of their initial price.
Right. Well, even if it were free, let's just say it was free.
That's a better price.
It's a great price. But what's the average ticket on these postcards? So for me, I'm trying to take my average ticket, which was $15 a few years ago, to $20. Now it might be $25. I have to be in that range. So if every postcard is a rare $25 postcard, maybe I'm in for this deal. But if they're $5, $6, $7, $10,
Which probably, if
Right.
you get a random stock, I mean, are there some $25, $100, $200 postcards? I'm sure there are.
Right.
But it's like the needle in the haystack because you've got them all there and you don't know and you have to research them all. So really, obviously, free would change the equation some. Obviously, at free, I would take them because at that point, who cares?
Right.
But let's just go down that avenue very quickly. Say you or I did get them free. There are two possible things to do on them. Either A, you find a full-time postcard dealer and you sell them off to him for $10,000, which is an incredible deal for him.
Right.
Or B, you grab them and hopefully they're in some semblance of order. And guess what I'm selling today? 100 Wisconsin postcards. And I do a quick scan through them to see if anything jumps out at me as being good. And otherwise, I'd be leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yeah.
But I'm listing 100 postcards for $40 at an auction and hope that it takes off and taking 25 on it and being happy because I've got nothing into it. And every once in a while you're going to find something really good and make your money on it.
Right.
But it kind of was a nice lesson to not necessarily be learned because I think we know it and there have been a number of deals that we've passed up. But this is one of the first deals that's kind of in my wheelhouse with postcards. It's real easy for me to have somebody call me and say, I've got a gigantic Hummel collection. Somebody, a friend of the family, his mother collects Hummels or collected Hummels or gold or whatever. Hummel, I guess it was Hummels. And he was looking to sell them, and we were just like, no, we just don't want to deal with it because it's so far outside of what we deal with, let alone the breakage and all those kind of issues.
Sure.
So we completely passed on that deal because of that, because it just wasn't something we wanted to deal with. Well, postcards I don't mind dealing with. But $1 million? So hopefully that helps you a little bit. I did want to kind of come back to it a little bit and kind of discuss it because we did do a lot of discussion after the show about it, the pros and cons of it. I mean, the pro is obviously you pay $40,000. Even let's say the ticket item is $5 a piece. It's potentially $5 million.
Right.
$40,000, $5 million? That's a pretty good return.
Yeah, sure.
The downside, you can't list anything else. It takes up a lot of room.
Right.
I don't know it, so I have to learn it. And it's probably going to be fairly slow selling.
Oh, yeah. It makes me always wonder too, even when I lose out on a deal or I turn down a deal, a big deal like this, you know, who else out there is willing to take this on at that price? You know, and what is the seller going to do with it if no one out there is willing to take that price and he drops it and drops it again? And, you know, it's a waiting game. Maybe at some point it'll be 10,000. You say, hey, I can throw 10,000 in a storage unit, get an extra employee, knock them out, you know.
And that was another thing we had talked about, is how much of your, would it be worthwhile for you to do it with an employee? And certainly not at first. At some point it would be. At some point down the line it would be. But then we thought about, and this is something that a lot of people don't understand, at least for me. For you, it may be a little bit different. Well, you more manage, and so you've got the employees. I'm doing everything myself. I've got a day job. The last thing that I want is a job.
Right.
Not that eBay or Amazon by any means are easy. They're not. You do put a lot of work in. You do put a lot of time in. But stop and imagine if you had an employee who could knock off 10,000, postcard, or 100,000 postcards a year, as we were saying there.
Right.
You hire him today. He doesn't mind postcards. You say, you're working for me for 10 years. Every single day for the next 10 years, you're listing postcards. Have fun. Some point, no matter how much he likes postcards.
It's like solitary confinement.
So if he asks for a little jeweler's hammer and a poster.
There you go.
You do have the posters up there.
Yeah,
so
we do.
when he keeps asking you to change the poster.
For sure.
But that would be work. That literally would be a job. Would it be profitable? Yes, I have no doubt at all that in the long run I would make money on the deal. But in 3 years, I'm leaving a job. Do I want to get into another job?
Right.
So hopefully that helps you some. Do leave comments down below. One thing that we do try to do on the channel is have you look at things a little bit differently. I know a lot of people out there don't necessarily do big deals all the time, but not every big deal is a good big deal, even if the numbers add up.
Right.
There are other things, and one of the things positive about this deal was that price was delivered.
Yeah.
So that takes a lot of
5,000 to 10,000 right there, probably at least 5,000.
Plus, even let's just say, which obviously I couldn't put that number of postcards in my vehicle, obviously, but let's say that I owned a box truck and you could somehow or other fit them all in there.
Right.
The deal is about a 12 to 14 hour drive. So now you've got to drive 12 to 14 hours with the box truck across multi-state lines, pick them up. You got to load them all, drive it back. So you're a day and a half, 2 days into it just doing that alone. And I'm not even pretend the tolls are free, pretend pretend everything else is free. That's still a couple of days that
Well, and you
don't
need a
have to worry
storage unit
about.
too. Probably need a storage unit, unless you have an empty garage, which you and I do not. So.
I do not. So hopefully that helps you a little bit there. Do hit the like button if you could. Love it if you subscribe. And if you make comments down below, we will definitely respond to them. If you have any questions about deals, big deals in general, we certainly are more than willing to give our opinion. I know you're opinionated on everything, and I can come out of my shell once in a while. See you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.